Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
The Phillies just made a move that caught a lot of people off guard when they traded left-handed reliever Matt Strahm to the Royals. While the what is pretty obvious, Strahm's gone, Jonathan Bowlan is here, the why is a lot more complicated. As more days pass and we get more information, the vision for this offseason is becoming clearer, but I've got to be honest, I'm still not totally sold on this decision. Let's start with what actually happened. Matt Strahm is heading to Kansas City in exchange for right-handed reliever Jonathan Bowlan. Now, we'd heard whispers about this. It wasn't a complete blindside, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. Because here's the thing, Matt Strahm is a legitimately good pitcher. Look at what he did last season. 66 games, 62 and a third innings, 70 strikeouts, only 47 hits allowed. That's a 2.74 ERA and a 1.075 whip. He's the only reliever in baseball with a WAR over 2 for 3 consecutive seasons. That's consistency you just don't find in relief pitchers. Strahm pitched in high leverage spots. He absolutely owned Shohei Ohtani in key situations, and I liked having him on this team. From an objective value standpoint, this might be the worst deal Dave Dombrowski has made since taking over the Phillies. Now, obviously, they see something in Jonathan Bowlan, a guy who couldn't find his footing as a starting pitcher at the major league level, but transitioned to the bullpen last year and found some success. The Phillies seem to be planning on using him in that relief role, and I've seen theories that this move is heavily financially motivated. The Phillies saved nearly $7 million in this trade. They've still got holes to fill. There's no starting catcher right now with JT Realmuto out in free agency. They could use more pitching, and they need a right-handed hitting platoon outfielder. So the idea is they're freeing up money to reinvest elsewhere. That makes some sense on paper, but here's my issue. I think Matt Strahm was worth that $7 million. But there's another layer to this that's been somewhat underreported. According to Matt Gelb from The Athletic, Strahm was outspoken in his opinions on how the bullpen and clubhouse were managed, which clashed with coaches and other team officials. Dombrowski framed it differently, saying it was about contractual control. Strahm's a year away from free agency, while Bowlan has 6 years of club control. Strahm released a pretty classy statement after the trade, speaking positively about the organization and his teammates. But the reality is, whether it was tension with teammates or coaching staff, the organization felt it was time to move on. I think this goes back to the end-of-season press conference where Dombrowski was asked about comments Strahm made after that infamous Orion Kerkering moment, when he didn't throw to first base in a crucial situation. Strahm suggested the team needed more infield practice for pitchers, more situational awareness work. Dombrowski bit back at that, saying they absolutely covered that during the week. That exchange kind of pulled back the curtain and revealed things weren't totally fine behind the scenes. But here's what I'll say in Strahm's defense. Relievers are weird, man. You have to be wired a certain way to succeed in that role, and Strahm definitely checks that box. He's a psycho in the right way. Watch him pitch for 10 seconds, and you'll see him cursing himself out on the mound, screaming into his glove. He's intense. But that intensity plays well from a relief pitcher perspective. This guy closed games and pitched in high-leverage spots successfully. The decision's been made, though, and now we wait to see what they do with that money. It's shocking to me that JT Realmuto is still a free agent. I thought that would be the next domino to fall, but he's still out there. Are they eyeing a bigger fish? Are they trying to get involved in the Bo Bichette trade talks? Maybe move Bryson Stott to third base and reconfigure the infield? Could this open up money to bring back Ranger Suarez? We'll see. But this move puts pressure on the bullpen. Right now, you're looking at Johan Duran as the closer with Jose Alvarado, Brad Keller, Orion Kerkering, and Tanner Banks as your high-leverage options. Keller is coming off a strong season and represents their biggest bullpen signing. But these guys have to deliver. The biggest question mark is Jose Alvarado. Without Strahm, Alvarado becomes the top lefty out of the bullpen. He'll get the dirty innings, the big spots against lefty hitters, and he'll be expected to get righties out too. That's a gamble. Alvarado has pitched like one of the best relievers in baseball at times during his Phillies career. He's also failed on the biggest stages. In 2024, he had a down year and wasn't a go-to arm in the postseason. Then he reported to camp in 2025 in tremendous shape. throwing gas in spring training. He had a 2.70 ERA through 20 games before getting suspended 80 games for testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. That's the elephant in the room. When you look at the metrics from before his suspension, everything was up, velocity on every pitch. The test results speak for themselves, but beyond that, Alvarado has always been inconsistent. When he's on, he's legitimately one of the better relievers in the sport. When he's off, he can't even find the strike zone. The Phillies don't have patience for that this year, which is why the Strahm trade is such a risk. Say what you want about Matt Strahm, but there was a level of consistency that's pretty rare for relievers. He showed up and performed at a solid level day in and day out. Losing that reliability and banking on Alvarado's best version showing up consistently, that's asking a lot. The other guy this speaks volumes about is Tanner Banks. At 34 years old, he was one of the bright spots last season. 69 games, 67 and a third innings, 61 strikeouts, only 56 hits allowed. That's a 3.07 ERA and a 1.01 WHIP. As the season progressed, they trusted him in higher leverage situations more and more. He was a model of consistency in what was, for most of the year, a pretty bleak bullpen situation. The Phillies seem confident this performance is sustainable. Whether that's actually the case remains to be determined, but they're clearly betting on Banks being a reliable piece moving forward. Here's the bottom line. This trade wasn't about maximizing return on investment. If it was, I refuse to believe this was the best deal on the table for Matt Strahm. This was about freeing up $7 million and getting younger, more controllable arms. Now it's about what they do with that money. Is another big move coming? Are they just scaling back payroll? The catcher position isn't solved. The outfield could use another piece. Give me a legitimate platoon option. And honestly, I'd love to see them go after a big fish. If there's a Bo Bichette deal to be made, or if those Kettle Marte trade rumors turn into something real, that would make this whole thing feel better. I'll be honest, I don't feel any better about this trade after sitting on it for a couple days. I thought maybe I'd come to terms with it as time passed, but I'm still sitting here not loving the direction they chose. If there's another deal coming, if there's another move that this trade makes possible, then maybe all the pieces will fall into place. But right now, judging it based on what's in front of us, I'm not convinced this was the right call.